Squirrels! So hello, and welcome to another Legends of Runeterra video. My name is Chris, and today we will be trying out something that hasn't been tried out before, and that is because we are playing Captain Farron in his new version since the update, so that he now reads, when I'm summoned, create 3 decimates in hand, as opposed to replacing your entire hand. And this card got a major upgrade because of that, and so I think I'm pairing him with the deck that he probably fits in best, and that is Nox Ezreal. We've seen Nox Ezreal before the Rising Tides expansion and after the Rising Tides expansion, sometimes with Swain. So in this version though, we're playing Draven. Why are we not playing Swain? Well, Swain and Ezreal do obviously have some synergies in that they level up in a very similar way a lot of the time. You know, often with the spells that you target your opponent with stuff like Thermal Beam, it will help level up Swain and Ezreal at the same time, and therefore be somewhat useful. Personally though, I'm not the biggest fan of it because the synergies between the two cards somewhat end there. Yes, there is the kind of case when you've got leveled up Ezreal and leveled up Swain, when Ezreal will do damage to the enemy Nexus before you attack, Swain will stun something. But at that same point, if you've got leveled up Ezreal and Swain on the board, you've pretty much won the game. It's not something that will happen too often, and if your opponent lets that happen, they've probably already lost, and they were going to lose either way. So apart from that, you know, unique sort of interaction, I didn't really think there was much for Ezreal, to be honest, going with Swain. And I think Ezreal decks, the more they go towards Ezreal, the better. But Captain Farron as well gives us a great little tool, and that's the thing. I think for Ezreal decks, you have to go and push towards Ezreal and leveling up Ezreal and getting Ezreal and then winning with Ezreal as much as you can, and that should be sort of a main focus. But obviously a deck can't rely solely on having one card, because if you don't draw that card, you can't just forfeit the game. And this has kind of been a problem with, say, Frosty Ezreal. Has kind of been... It struggles from that quite a bit, but Captain Farron gives us a chance to win the game on his own anyway. If they can't deal with Captain Farron, who's an 8/8 overwhelm, you know, he will win the game. He, with his 8 attack and obviously 12 in hand, if they aren't putting us under any threat or anything like that, we will eventually win the game with the decimates, and you know, there's very little that the opponent can potentially do about it. So Captain Farron really is great for this deck, as it acts as just a second win con, and obviously the creating the decimates allows us to run stuff like 3 Rummage for our card draw, which is quite important, I think, for this deck as well. So let's just quickly run through the cards. Obviously we've got a bunch of tools for leveling up Ezreal, and as I mentioned, 3 Rummages. Sentry is obviously a very good early card as well to slow down any aggression. Again, more Ezreal targeting stuff, the usual. We obviously are playing Draven as well, and Draven obviously is going to give us spinning axes, which at burst speed, when we've got leveled up Ezreal, will deal 2 damage as well, or a good discard targets for stuff like Rummage, and it allows us to play 3 Get Exciteds because we've got so many good discard targets in Draven, in Captain Farron, and in Chumpwump that we can afford to discard cards if we need it. Then similar sort of tools, you know, the gotchas, the static shocks and all that, round out our deck. So we've got a pretty firm Ezreal deck. Draven will help us deal damage early on in the game so that we don't have to get them down from 20, and then Captain Farron can potentially come in and be a big game finisher. And so with that said, let's get into some games. So this is something I expected, of course, to see as much Braum probably as humanly possible early on. This person is pairing it with Heimerdinger, so we probably want to drop the Death's Hand and the Get Excited. Maybe I should have kept the Get Excited. We see Captain Farron as well. And a big problem as well, and another reason for going into the Draven package as opposed to Swain is oftentimes they lacked any sort of potential play that you would want to make early on in a game. And that can be important in a lot of different scenarios. And by that I mean, like, you know, often it would get to turn 3 and you still wouldn't have done anything, and that obviously is a bit of a problem a lot of the time. So Elixir of Iron it looks like here. That's okay. Not too worried about that. Now obviously we know on 4 he probably will be wanting to drop a Braum if he's got it. He gets the sentry out. That's fine. So we do see the get excited there. But again, we don't want to give him any sort of Braum ideas. Interesting to see what he might have right here. Obviously if he went for a freeze or anything like that. So we got a get excited from our deck. Obviously that's somewhat frustrating. What did he discard? Do we know? He discarded the Pyro that he got. So we'll just play our Chump Wump now. And again, we've got to get excited for this if we need it. Mystic Shot, even better. We will still block like this in case he's got Elixir of Iron again. But I feel somewhat okay in doing that. And now we can just pass. Comes out with Starlit Seer. It's very interesting within a Heimerdinger deck. Could try and kill this. On 3 of 8. So, do I want it? 4 mana. 4 mana. He's already played 1 Elixir of Iron. So, you know, chances are pretty low. It kind of forces something from him now. So I think I will do it. Yeah, it's kind of going to force out these options now, which he would have had at any point anyway. So I'd rather do it when he only has 4 mana up, as opposed to, you know, having a whole bunch of mana up. You never know what he's got, Progress Day, the like. So there's a Thermo Beam. I think we just attack first. No reason to rush into anything. Ezreal is up to 4 as of now. So he goes for a flash now, so that would somewhat suggest no Heimerdinger. We could always rummage right now, but I think we can afford to slow play it at this point. Although we'll see what he does. Scrap Dash Assembly, not a card I was expecting, but you know, something like a Static Shock would be welcome at this point. Second Thermo Beam, again, not ideal. For that we do have to rummage, I think. We have to rummage away some of these things, so we'll get rid of the 2 Mushroom Clouds and look for a better option right now. Chump Wump is fine, Blade's Edge is quite nice as well. Comes down with a big Plaza Guardian also. That's a bit scary as well. We can go for a Thermo Beam here. On the Yeti. We are going to take some damage here. Chooses not to attack with Trapper, so is 6 damage worth it? 7. 7. He doesn't have too much burn, I would have thought. He might be playing Get Excited, but we'll see. I think we're going to be just okay here. But we are going to have to choose what to do. I think what we'll do first is that. This leaves open our Ravenous Flock, of course, to kill said Plaza Guardian. If he just wants to end the round, I'll let him burn all that mana. Yes, we could have gone in for more, but I don't want him, you know, doing anything that I don't like. So right now, obviously we block there. We probably still block you. And we probably do this. This Get Excited as well is pretty nice, in case we do need to do something to that. He goes for Rummage. He gets rid of Frostbite, so like. Normally Heimerdinger with Freljord will play that kind of thing. Goes for the Mystic Shot on the Chump Wump. That's fine though. So that is our Ezreal leveled up, of course. And now I think it's pretty safe to go in for our Captain Farron. Who obviously is a big threat, as you can see already. He goes to the Mushroom Cloud, so he's looking to somewhat win the game. Would I rather wait for Ezreal in case I get him? Probably, right? That's probably the play. Gotcha. Okay, we did draw a Mushroom. Not ideal. We can attack with Farron. It caused him some real headaches here, so he's in trouble right now. Gets Aurora Borealis. Wow. Wow. Plays a Poro Snack. He plays the Plunder Poro, who gets Overwhelm, Regeneration. Okay, well we can probably kill you. And, you know, that stops the second Poro Snacks as well by dealing 3 damage to it, of course. He also gets Sinister Poro. You could probably go in with 1 Decimate at least. And then probably Thermo Beam the Trapper. Yeah, I think so. And now if he can't kill me next turn, we do have double Decimate. So he just goes for Ice Veil Archer. We've still got the Get Excited if we need it. If that is required. Which it might be. This could be Mystic Shot. So when you consider that, do I have to Get Excited you? Okay, he just surrenders. Woo! Woo, mama! But yeah, you saw Captain Farron there. Doing exactly what I said. We didn't draw Ezreal. Captain Farron wins us the game. Fizz Twisted Fate. Certainly interesting. Fizz never ideal for us, of course. Because you can just play a bunch of spells and get rid of it. And also they don't play the most units either. So yeah, not an ideal matchup, I would say. Most of the time. And this is the great thing about Draven, is that we always get these extra bit of turn here to always have a proactive play, and it's something that I think that Swain deck was really missing out on, and it really hindered the deck as a whole. But because we've got Draven here, you know, we always know we've got a good chance. And you know, obviously Draven's an auto keep in hand as well. We've always got a decent chance of doing something. Now, people said this wasn't a big nerf. We're about to see whether it was or not. So he does have the pilfered goods as well. Not ideal. Not ideal at all. I still wish they would have changed it and let me see the cards, but apparently that isn't to be the case. Wow. This game it's fun, right? These are fun cards. I just love it when they're so much fun. Love that. Love that. Ooh, can't wait for more of that. That's gonna be fun. I'm always up for a round or two. So here's just gold card. So our choice here is, do we want to Thermo Beam you or you? And I think the choice is probably always you. This Ezreal up to 2.
The dragon remembers.
This is gonna hurt for you.
So he does go for the Twin Disciplines on this, and that's what I was thinking he might do. And And he also goes for Death Hand on that. See, so he wasn't expecting the block, and so we've managed to actually save a bunch of damage there and get this Twin Disciplines out of his hand. Which actually for us, overall, is pretty good. He will get the Dragonling, but obviously that doesn't really matter either. So what we can do now, obviously, is go for the stun into the Ravenous Flock on the Eye of the Dragon. That's going to get Ezreal up to 5. Does just come out with Fizz. Second to win. Will of Ionia. Ooh, that's pretty costly Will of Ionia. And one that I'm pretty happy to see. That's not a play I would advise. Like, how important is this to you, really? How important is this card to you, really, getting those 2-1s out? I think that's a pretty big mistake on his behalf there. But who am I to judge? Okay, so I think what we want to do now is probably this. Draw the card. We do have Guillotine in the old back pocket. That's Ezreal up to 6, of course.
Grasping claws.
Just goes for the pick a card. That's interesting. That's the level up Fizz. So, but that means that he's on not that much mana right now. Like, not much mana at all. That puts me on... So does he have a 2-mana spell, do you think? What do we think, folks? If he plays this, does he have a 1-mana spell? You know what? Keep your Fizz. What's our Ezreal leveled up? But obviously we need to be winning this game at some point here, and obviously our play really is just Captain Farron. Ah, that... We got game changed, really. Simply, it's as simple as that. Absolute game changer on that Draven, Black Market Merchant, Pilfered Goods, Gotcha, Draw, reduction of cost was obviously absolutely ridiculous, and that's the kind of play that I don't think often you will come back from. Just in general. And yeah, we're in some trouble right now. So he did have the warning shot, so we made a good choice overall. Into Merchant. Oh, I just hate these cards. Why? Why did you not change it so that I could see what he just drew? And now it's even worse, right? Because this would be a situation where if they drew from the top, my chances of getting Ezreal and having a chance of winning this game are actually much higher. Ezreal can block Fizz. And so I don't understand why people think that was a good change. It was the worst change they could have made. By far the worst change they could have made. And it really has annoyed me. So he comes out with his long tooth. I mean, we aren't long for this game by the looks of it. Goes for the attack with Fizz. I mean, I have... do I take that? And just say... whatever. I'll keep my 8-1. I think I have to. I guess we just decimate and just sort of start to hope that we can just win this game by brute force, that he doesn't have an answer for Captain Farron to deal 1 damage to it. That we can get a big hit off with him. Sort of end the game that way. Hopefully, maybe draw Ezreal. But this again is a situation where we would have been much better if they were drawing from the top. Drawing from the top would have helped us out pretty massively in terms of that.
Quiet steps. The
And he
dragon
gets one of these as well. That's kind of interesting. That, like, what hand does he have where you know, maybe not so many burst speed spells in hand? Otherwise, why would you not play this? So it's a chump wump as well. I mean, Jesus Christ. Static shock. Not doing the most, I'll be honest. We can attack with both. Kind of again need him not to have an answer to this.
Excuse you.
I mean, you can't let that through, yeah. you can't. I mean, by all means, please do, but you can't. To pocket aces, I mean, again, that doesn't really matter at all. I think my only chance is to draw Ezreal, right? I mean, obviously I could axe, but I think I mean, well, actually, this is probably my best chance to do this. I think that's probably my best hope, is to do that. Get a Mystic Shot. He goes down to 9. Bring it down to 5. We're like just short. We're just short. What? Let's think. I could Mystic Shot you, and then what? Oh, he's still in this game. I mean, we could get excited. We've got draws here. Actually, we do have draws. Does that matter? This will be 2, 5, 7. So if we avoid a mushroom, which, you know, chances are we will, but with the way that this guy's playing, we probably won't. We still can win. We still can win. We got few outs. Culling Strike is interesting. He's saying it's good game. I mean, my friend, I've got plenty of things in hand. I can do this. Unless you've got Twin or something. And this is not quite game over yet, my friend. Okay. Oh, so close. So close. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, straight up mono Piltover. Not sure that this will be the meta, but who knows? Quite like this opening hand as a whole. Obviously the Blade's Edge for any sort of Teemo. Double Culling Strike, you know, in general. Piltover tends not to have the highest statted units. But this sort of hand often, again, this is like your average opening hand with the Swain version, where obviously if it gets to turn 3, like, I don't have a play. I don't have a play until then. Okay, he chooses to go with the clump of wumps. We will just pass though. Doesn't much need to do much. We'll just Mystic Shot you. And right now we're probably pretty happy to pass overall. That is something that we will not let live though. So he uses a Mushroom Cloud now. Makes sense. Mushrooms can actually be quite a bit of a problem for Ezreal because, of course, Ezreal likes to drag out the game somewhat. And obviously mushrooms are quite good at, you know, dealing with that. So we could see the... Oh, Veteran Investigator. Okay. Well, that would have been nice if we had more mana, but as it is, it's fine. Another clump of wumps as well. We have quite a good answer for this in Death's Hand. Static again. Another clump of wumps. Okay. Let's just do this. No. I don't mind taking 2 damage if that's all it is. I certainly don't mind blocking. a get excited. I'm happy to pass. We'll wait for the second target and we'll go Static Shock if he does play anything. Whoa. Whoa. Comes in with the big Zevi. Pretty good thermo beam draw. So Ezreal gets up to 8. We still haven't seen Ezreal. We still haven't drawn Ezreal. Which is obviously somewhat not ideal. Second Zevi. Speaking of not ideal. Again, I think... What are you up to? 6. So that should be it for that. As we look to find our Ezreal now, instead we find a Draven. He goes for a Mystic Shot. So I'm actually going to go for the Blade's Edge Ravenous Flock line. But we do this first so that he thinks that he can attack. And then we go for it. He just scored, so okay. And so that is the deck. We didn't even see Ezreal come out and alive, but I'm sure many of you have seen Ezreal decks in the past that do similar things. But I think what was more important is we saw the other side of the deck work. The Dravens, the Captain Farron's coming in absolutely massive, and you saw pretty much that he can single-handedly win a game. And I think that that's the side of the deck that I think works better. And I do think that this is a superior version to Ezreal Swain. It just anytime you can justify playing 3 Rummage and 0 Progress Day, that's where you want to be. If you can make that choice between the two, you want to be in the one that's playing the most Rummages in general. Because if you can draw the cards for 1 mana and you don't mind whatever you're discarding, because at different points in the game you're going to be looking for different stuff. So the discard doesn't always matter. Once you've got leveled up Ezreal on the board, if you've got a handful of Arachnoid Sentries and Ezreal's already leveled up, you don't need the Arachnoid Sentries, right? You just need to find your spells. So that's why, having Rummage is often a bit better than Progress Day, and the fact that it costs 7 less mana. And we can justify running all 3, and that's why I think that this is overall just a superior version, and I think could be pretty, if not very competitive, going forward as well. So, with that said, I have been Chris. Thank you for watching. Have a really nice day.